ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोन् श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुलंगायते कृपातमहं वन्दे शीघ्रं दिनतारणं परमानंद माधवं चैतन्यमीश्वरम्। कथांचन स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् स्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्री चैतन्यं नमामि तम्। Hare Krishna. So in third canto of Bhagavatam, it is said, Janasya Krishnat Vimukasya Devat Adharmasilasya Sudukhitasya Anugrahaya Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanas. Very beautiful shloka, where it explains that why does a pure devotee move? Normally, a living entity moves from one place to another place, impelled by desire. Otherwise, there is no need for movement. Movement means desire. A symptom of desire is movement. So then, different living entities are moving. We are also moving. And a pure devotee is also moving. What is the difference? The difference is that all the living entities except a pure devotee, they are all simply moving because of ignorance. They are all moving simply because of ignorance. Kutimaran is saying, Bhave asmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bihi shravana smaranarhani karisyan iti kechana. She is saying that why the Lord appears, saying that some people are telling the Lord appears, Bhave asmin. For whom you appear? Klishyamananam. Klishyamananam means those who are subjected to three kleshas. What are the three kleshas? What are the three kleshas? You know? You don't know. You know what are the three kleshas? How do you get troubled? Yes. You get troubled by yourself. You get troubled by others. You get troubled by nature. These are only three sources of trouble. You get troubled by yourself. Sometimes you create trouble for yourself, right? And then you get troubled by others. Daddy, mummy, teacher, friends, enemies. You get troubled by others. Then you get troubled by nature. Climate is so bad, so much humidity. I forgot how Dubai was. And I get out the airport, hitting me back. I remembered, oh, this is why Pura Janma, I was here. So anyway, the point is, Klishamanana means all of us. We are all troubled by different sources of trouble. Why we are troubled? Avidya, Kama, Karma Bihi. We are doing different activities, Karma Bihi. And why we are doing those activities? Simply to fulfill our desires, Kama. And where did the desire came from? It came from ignorance, Avidya. So, she is capturing the entire material life only in 4 words. What is that? Klishyamananam, Avidya, Kama, Karma Bihi. Very simple, straightforward explanation of what is material life. So, starting from one virus, amoeba, to great people who are big presidents of big country, everybody is moving because of this only. What is that? Somehow or other, out of ignorance, they are thinking I am this body and trying to satisfy this body. That's why they are moving. Okay. But then great devotees are also moving. Why they are moving? They are moving for a different reason. What they are doing, that is what is explaining. Vidura is explaining. Janasya Krishnat Vimukasya Deva. The common man does not know that he is supposed to face Krishna. So, out of ignorance, he has turned his face away from Krishna. What is this Krishna? He is living his own life, and I am having so much trouble here. Why I should see him? I don't want to see him. He turned his face away. And then he is trying to see if I can also be like Krishna, I can also enjoy. Why only Krishna should enjoy? I'll let me also enjoy. Vimukasya Deva. Deva means by Krishna's own arrangement, they actually turned away from Krishna. Why? Because we desired. So we only can desire, we cannot make arrangement. We are so powerless that we can only desire to forget Krishna. But we cannot forget Krishna by ourselves. Krishna has to make arrangement for us to forget Krishna. This is called this creation. This creation is Krishna's arrangement for us to forget Krishna. So Janasya Krishna, Vimukasya Deva. So when you do that, then what happens? Adharma Silasya. You become very expert in performing adharma. It's called Adharma Silasya. Very expert. I am expert in this, I am expert in that. I am sure in this room, if I ask everybody, each one will claim that he is expert in something. But what are we actually expert in? We are actually expert in adharma. Why we are expert in adharma? Because our dharma is to love Krishna. Our dharma is to what? Is to love Krishna. That's our dharma. We are doing, except that we are doing everything else. We are loving cat, dog, monkey, donkey, husband, wife, children. Everything we are loving, but we are not loving Krishna. Therefore, adharma silasya. So, what is the result of that? Sudukitasya. Sudukitasya means we are extremely miserable. We are extremely miserable. We are so miserable that we don't know that we are miserable. We are so miserable that we don't know that we are miserable. This is the greatest misery. You ask somebody, how are you, sir? What is the answer? I am fine. I am fine. So, we are so miserable that we don't know that we are miserable. This is called Sudukidasya. So, then what to do? The only way to save us is to give some mercy. Anugrahaya. In order to give that mercy to us, then the pure devotees are moving. Charanti. Charanti means they are moving. Nunam. Nunam means definitely they don't have any other reason. This pure devotee movement has no other reason. Definitely they have only one reason. That reason is to give us some mercy. So therefore, these people are great. Bhutani Bhavyani. Therefore, these people are great. Bhutani Bhavyani. They are great people. Pure devotees are great people. We should not think this fellow is great, that fellow is great. Sometimes, children put big poster of some football, what is a star, only kicking ball. What is the use? So they put some big poster, or they put some poster of somebody, some jazz star, something like that, or some cinema star, thinking that he is great man. We think, oh, he is great man. We think, oh, he is great man. But who is real great man? A pure devotee is real great man. Bhutani Bhavyani. Why they are great people? Why they are great people? Janardhanasya. Because they have identified themselves as belonging to Krishna. We have identified ourselves as belonging to this body. That's what we have identified. At least I have identified myself as belonging to this body. I am very proud. I have that stout body. I'm very proud. I am having this stout body. Very good. So, but the pure devotees have identified themselves as belonging to Krishna. So therefore, anyone who comes in touch with pure devotee, his life becomes fortunate. Life becomes fortunate. Therefore, if we have to understand and appreciate our good fortune, then we should understand and appreciate our touch in our life. What is that touch in our life? The touch in our life is the touch of Srila Prabhupada. So therefore, we should understand and appreciate Srila Prabhupada. Understand and appreciate Srila Prabhupada. It's a very, Prabhupada's appearance in this world is the most significant event in the life of everybody sitting here, which did not happen in your life. Many times we think that the significant events happen in our life. No, the most significant event that happened in all our lives is the appearance of Srila Prabhupada. That is why we are all sitting here. So, therefore, I thought it is very auspicious to speak about Prabhupada today evening. We are going to have a very super quick review of the very significant events happen in his life, starting from childhood to all the way he goes to America. Very snippets we are going to have. We actually did an 8-day course. This is actually an 8-day course. We actually did this 8-day course in Mayapur. It was taught by Atu Krishna Prabhu. This course is designed by many devotees, and the main devotee was Janmashtami Prabhu, who is in charge of the Prabhupada Connect program all over the world. So when we went through this course, we felt that we got reconnected with Prabhupada. Of course, we did this course in a very, very different manner. We did not do this course in this style of lecture style. We had a really nice time doing this course. And all of us came together after a long time in Atu Krishna Prabhu's class because we are all his old students. Most of us in the class, we all did Bhakti Shastri with him. So we all came together. He was also very enthusiastic because he saw all his old goose in the same class. And we also had a very nice time. Okay, anyway, it's a long course, but I'm going to, we are going to do part of this course, but I'm going to give only some glimpse so that hopefully you get some taste for it, and then you start feeling that yes, we want to do this course, and then we get some time of 7-8 days, and then we can do the whole course. Okay. So I'm going to start with what Prabhupada said about his own childhood and his father. My father taught me this Krishna consciousness from very childhood. This Krishna conscious movement is to be learned from the very childhood. So far, personally we are concerned, my father taught me this Krishna consciousness from very childhood. My father was a great Vaishnava. I had this opportunity of taking birth in that family. So he gave me lessons in Krishna consciousness from very beginning in my life. He gave me mridanga. He engaged a teacher for learning mridanga and playing. Sometimes my mother was irritated, but somehow or other I got the inspiration from my father worshipping a small Radha Krishna deity. See, it is very important, that Prabhupada is actually saying that, yes. Share the screen on Zoom. You want to share the screen on Zoom? Okay. So let us see how to share the screen on Zoom. टेक्नोलॉजी ने हमको मार दिया. Okay. Okay, the screen is there on Zoom. So Prabhupada is saying, and Prabhupada is saying more. He was a pure Vaishnava. He's talking about his father. He was a pure Vaishnava, and he wanted me to become like this. He was praying Radharani. He was praying to Radharani. And any saintly person would come, he would simply say, give blessings to my son, that he become a servant, Radharani's servant. That was my father's prayer. He, like that, actually he desired that his son may become a Vaishnava. My Guru Maharaj's training that has put me in this position. So as parents, it is very important for us. We have many aspirations about our children. My child should become doctor. My child should become engineer. My child should become rocket scientist. My child should become manager, damager, whatever it is. But the most important desire of every parent should be what? That my child should become a devotee. When you give blessings to your child, that please, my son, my daughter, you become devotee. then that blessings are so important. So important. And we should constantly meditate on this fact that our children should become devotees. Now, Prabhupada is saying that how his father played such a significant role in making him a devotee. I saw this girl playing nicely harmonium. Good, very good. These children, they should learn. Like, Prabhupada's father actually gave Mridanga training to Prabhupada in a very young age. So my birth was in a Vaishnava family. My father was a great Vaishnava. So from my birth, I was in Vaishnava culture only. So this is how Prabhupada actually became, his childhood grew up. Then the next most significant event in our life, in whose life? In our life. Whose life? Our life. The next most significant event in our life is Prabhupada's meeting Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This is the second most significant event in our life. So we should read about this event. Okay. Can somebody read from here? But Abhay remains skeptical.
But Abhay remained skeptical. Oh no, I know all these sadhus, he said. I am not going. Abhay had seen many sadhus in his childhood. Every day his father had entertained at least 3 or 4 in his soul. Some of them were no more than beggars, and some even smoked ganja. Gaur Mohan had been very liberal in allowing anyone who wore the saffron robes of a sannyasi to come. But did it mean that though a man was no more than a beggar or a ganja smoker, he had to be considered saintly just because he dressed as a sannyasi or was collecting funds in the name of building a monastery or could influence people with his speech? No. By and large, they were a disappointing lot. Abhay had even seen a man in his neighborhood who was a beggar by occupation. In the morning, when others dressed in their work clothes and went to their jobs, this man would put on saffron clothes and go out to beg, and in this way earn his livelihood. But was it fitting that such a sober sadhu be paid a respectful visit, as if he were a guru?
Yeah, okay. So we'll stop here. So this was Abhay's mood, Prabhupada's mood, when his friend called him to meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But somehow or other, his friend convinced him that please come. And then somehow or other, he actually went. Okay. When he went there, okay, so please read from this. Sitting there with his back very straight. Sitting there with his back very straight.
His back very straight, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared tall. He was slender, his arms were long, and his complexion was fair and golden. He wore bifocals with simple frames, his nose was sharp, his forehead broad, and his expression was very scholarly, yet not at all timid. The vertical markings of Vaishnava tilak on his forehead were similar to Abhay, as were the simple sannyas robes that draped over his right shoulder, leaving the other shoulder and half his chest bare. He wore tulsi neck beads, and the clay Vaishnava markings of tilak were visible at his throat, shoulder, and upper arms. A clean white Brahminical thread was looped around his neck and draped across his chest. Abhay and Naren, having both been raised in Vaishnava families, immediately offered prostrated obeisances at the sight of the revered sannyasi. While the two young men were still rising and preparing to sit, before any preliminary formalities of conversation had begun, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta immediately said to them, "You are educated young men. Why don't you preach Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message throughout the world?"
You see, this is the most significant question which was asked in our life. This was the most significant question which was asked in our life. This life, that question brought us here today evening. Okay. This question brought us here today evening. So this is the first instruction Prabhupada got from his guru. And that instruction Prabhupada gave his life to. So that all of us can be happy. So that all of us can be happy. Prabhupada's compassion, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's compassion, our Guru Parampara's compassion is unlimited. Unlimited compassion. And out of unlimited compassion, they did wonderful things. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he did wonderful things. Before that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Gaudiya Vaishnavism was considered the path of rascals and sinful people before Bhakti Vinod Thakur, because the whole Chaitanya's movement was taken over by Sahajyas. And Vaishnavas considered that the followers of Lord Chaitanya as a blot on Vaishnavism. They were thinking that how shameful these Vaishnavas are. And in that condition, Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually established the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya so strongly by writing so many books, by giving so many lectures, by doing so many things. So strongly he established the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya. So many books he wrote: Chaitanya Sikshamrita, Harinama Chintamani, Jaiva Dharma. So many books he wrote. So many books he wrote. Very scholarly books. And that work was taken forward by Bhaktisiddhanta Sarita. He was called as Simha Guru. And he so valiantly fought to establish the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Valiantly he fought. And he was so terrible to his enemies. So then he identified Prabhupada. He identified Prabhupada not once. You will see many times he identifies Prabhupada. He identified Prabhupada. From the first meeting, he identified Prabhupada many times. So, therefore, we have got the association of these great personalities in our life. We should try to understand what kind of good fortune we have in our life which we don't deserve. So, we should not try to throw away this good fortune for nothing. It is very important for us to understand this. Okay. So, then after that, we are going to the next important part. So there are many events. We have only 1 hour. We cannot cover all the events. So, of course, I would love to read this Vyas Puja poem, but we don't have time for this. But the another significant event is the Vyas Puja poem which Prabhupada wrote to glorify Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Because after reading the Vyas Puja offering, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada gave that order: whatever he writes, you print. He gave that order: whatever he writes, you print. So then this is the final instruction. This is very important. We should read. Okay, please read from here. Deeply concerned.
Deeply concerned, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said to Abe, Ahul Javalve, there will be fire. One day there would be fire in the Calcutta Gaudiya Marg, and that fire of party interest would spread and destroy. Abe heard but did not know what to make of it. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had fought so long and boldly to establish that anyone of any birth could be elevated to become a Brahmana, a sannyasi or a Vaishnava. But if his followers became contaminated by a little wealth and the desire for prestige, thereby showing themselves to be still low-class men despite their training and purification, then his mission would be disrupted. If in the name of religion they became attached to ease, position, and prestige, it could only mean that they had failed to grasp the teachings of their spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. He was lamenting that these men are simply after the stones and bricks of the building. He condemned. He was very, very sorry. When we were living in a rental house, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, if we could collect 200 or 300 rupees, we were living very nicely at Ulta Kanaga. We were happier then. But since we have been given this marble palace in Bagh Bazar, there is friction between our men. Who will occupy this room? Who will occupy that room? Who will be the proprietor of this room? Everyone is planning in different ways. It would be better to take the marble from the wall and secure money. If I could do this and print books, that would be better. Abhay felt his spiritual master speaking to him in urgency, as if asking him for help or warning him to avoid a disaster. But what could he do? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta then said directly to Abhay, Amar Icha Chila Kichu by Karana. I had a desire to print some books. If you ever get money, print books. Standing by Radha Kunda and beholding his spiritual master, Abhay felt that words deeply enter his own life. If you ever get money, print books.
Yeah. So you can see from this incident, there are few important lessons we should learn. The first important lesson we should learn is that if we are not united, then the same fire which burnt the Gaudiya Math will also burn ISKCON. We should be very careful about this. We should be very careful about this because now ISKCON is a huge society. There are many gurus. There are many people, many nationalities, many languages, many type of bodily identification. It is very easy to get into groups. It could be groups based on guru. It could be groups based on body. It could be groups based on language. It could be groups based on region. Very, very easy to get into groups. But we should know that history will repeat itself. That is why Prabhupada told his followers, which includes all of us, that he said that my love for you will be shown by how all of you will cooperate after I leave. So it's very important to keep Prabhupada as center. It's very, very important. It's not a ritual for us to keep Prabhupada as center. It's not a ritual for us. This is the way we are going to survive together. Sometimes when we go to different places and then when we see different places, that we see that when Prabhupada Vyas Puja comes, that not many people are writing the Vyas Puja offering for Prabhupada. But when their own spiritual master Vyas Puja is coming, everybody is very enthusiastic to write the Vyas Puja offering for their own spiritual master. I am not saying it is wrong. It's very good that you are very enthusiastic to write the Vyas Puja offering for your own spiritual master. But you should be equally enthusiastic, if not more enthusiastic, to write Vyas Puja offering for Prabhupada. When we glorify a great Vaishnava, our good fortune is made. We should all understand that our spiritual masters are greatly glorious. But the real glory is that they are disciples of Prabhupada. We should never forget this. We should never forget this. We should never see our spiritual masters as independent from the parampara. This is the greatest misfortune, or this will be the greatest disservice we will do to ourselves if we simply see our spiritual masters as independent from the parampara. So therefore, mercifully, history has shown us that what will happen if we don't cooperate. In case of Gaudiya Math, that was the wealth and the opulence which Gaudiya Math attracted, that divided Gaudiya Math. But in case of ISKCON, we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful. We may have many differences. It is natural to have differences when so many people are together. But despite the differences, we should find that common thread to whom everybody can relate to, everybody can have strong sentiments for, everybody can please. And that is our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. Very, very important. It's very important. This is the first lesson we learned from this pastime. The second lesson we learned from this pastime is that when we practice Krishna consciousness, we will get facilities. When we practice Krishna consciousness, what will happen? We will get facilities. But when we get carried away by facilities, then we will lose our Krishna consciousness. So therefore, we should handle facilities which we get through Krishna conscious practice very carefully. We should never get carried away by the facilities. This is the second important lesson. The third most important lesson we should learn from this pastime is that book distribution is very, very important. Book distribution is very, very important. This is the order of the parampara. This is the order of the parampara. It is not a program which is made up by Prabhupada. Okay, I printed many books, let them sell all the books. No, this is the order of the parampara. That books should be printed and books should be sold and it should be distributed. Most important program. Most important program. What is the program? Book distribution. Prabhupada said, what your 20 minutes lecture will do? Prabhupada asked, what your 20 minutes lecture will do? They will hear like this and then they will forget. But if you give a book, it will be there with him for lifetime. So therefore, all of us should help in whichever way we can help for book distribution. We should understand that this is the order of the parampara. We should not think, oh, book distribution, no, that one devotee in charge of book distribution, he headache. Whether he distribute book or doesn't distribute book, one is his service. Leave him. Whatever he want to do, let him. We should not think like that. We should understand this is the order of the parampara.
Final instruction.
So, okay, please read. I am fully confident.
I am fully confident that you can explain in English our thoughts and arguments to the people who are not conversant with the languages of the other members. This will do much good to yourself as well as your audience. I have every hope that you can turn yourself into a very good English preacher if you serve the mission to inculcate the novel impression of Lord Chaitanya's teaching in the people in general as well as the philosophers and religionists.
Yeah. So this is the final order which Prabhupada received from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada. You can see that the first order and the final order are the same. So therefore, preaching is the essence. But in order to preach, then what Prabhupada went through, that is very important. Very, very important for us to know that what Prabhupada went through. Okay. So, this is letter to government for purchasing paper, because that time World War was going on and purchasing paper was a problem. So Prabhupada writes 2 letters. First he wrote 1 letter, then it was rejected. So how many letters he wrote? Prabhupada wrote different letters. Okay, when he went to buy paper, he met government restriction because of war and subsequent paper shortage. They wanted assay what he was written in terms of national needs. They want to assess. And during the war time, what is that? So Prabhupada wrote 1 letter, 2 letter. Now this is 3rd letter. Then Prabhupada wrote 4th letter, 1 more letter. So like this, Prabhupada wrote different letters just to get paper. And what we are doing? We are throwing paper here and there. And especially in Middle East, we are very expert in wasting tissue paper. When I went back from Dubai to Mayapur, I went to my Guru Maharaj once. I was very new in Mayapur. I went to my Guru Maharaj. And sometime my Guru Maharaj, he has some saliva coming out, so we have to remove that with tissue paper. So I was there once alone. It just saliva was coming out. So I am Dubai man, no? I pulled 4 tissue paper. My Guru was looking at me like this. Then he asked me, what is this? I said, Guru Maharaj, tissue paper I want. He said, can you not clean with 1 paper? I said, yes, Guru Maharaj. Keep back the rest. Now, how will you keep back the rest of the tissue paper and you pulled it out? Now, from that time, I am allergic to tissue paper. I see tissue paper, I run away at the other direction. Anyway. So he wrote different letters to different people. This itself is like how many people he wrote letters. You see, whole list of people he wrote letters, trying to establish Krishna consciousness. Then Jhansi preaching. These are all very interesting. Delhi preaching. These are all, when you read Leelamrita, they are all so interesting that what Prabhupada did in those times. And then after that, uh, Prabhupada goes to Vrindavan. This is another important aspect. Okay, please read.
Life in Delhi had been constant, vigorous preaching. Now he was more than 60 years old, but he was not coming to Vrindavana to retire. He would never stop preaching. He would take shelter in Vrindavana and commute to Delhi. His purpose remained the same. He would write back to Godhead and deliver it to the printers, printed in Delhi fortnightly. As long as he could afford to travel, he would return to Delhi to distribute back to Godhead. Prabhupada Vilana.
So Prabhupada did not go to Vrindavan to enjoy. Prabhupada did not go to Vrindavan to retire. Okay. Prabhupada went to Vrindavan simply to preach. So this Vrindavan Bhajan is very, very beautiful poem. We did a whole exercise on Vrindavan Bhajan. Okay. So where Prabhupada actually wrote that how everybody finally Krishna has shown the naked face of Maya. And then this is how Prabhupada is living in Vrindavan. Okay, please read.
The city of thousands of temples. Having the entire groups walk away to him, Abhay walked and chanted Japa, enjoying the cooling early evening breeze from the Yamuna. Occasionally, a solitary boat would pass on the calm waters of Yamuna, and a devotee somewhere unseen could be heard chanting every evening prayers at Keshigata. As the day turned to be like temple bell rang throughout the town. Abhay walked to the western side of the route and looked into the city of thousands of temples, the Govindaji temple, the Ranganatha temple, and thousands of smaller temples were having their Sandhya Arati and Kirtana glorifying Lord Krishna. Before sunrise, the residents of Vrindavana were astir, bathing in the Yamuna, performing puja to the deities, reciting mantra. But Abhay was awake even before most, writing in stillness beneath the light in his rooftop room. As he wrote diligently in English, scriptural references appeared and took their place within convincing arguments. For hours he wrote page after page in an exercise book, until gradually the chirping of awakening birds signaled the end of the dark night's stillness. Soon the sun would rise. Keeping to his regular schedule, he put aside his writing and began chanting japa, staying in his room, uttering the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in a soft, deep voice. Even before the first traces of light in the sky, before the river was visible, a few Babajis reciting prayers made their way through the streets, heading for the Yamuna. By 4 a.m., gongs and temple bells throughout the city heralded the Mangala Arati of the deity. Abhay continued chanting alone for another hour. Then he prepared to bathe, lowering the bucket on its long rope under hauling water up to the rooftop.
So this is how Prabhupada was living in Vrindavan. Very, very serene life, very beautiful life, very serene life. And he would write his books and he would keep writing what commentaries he wanted to write. And Prabhupada lived very nice and simple life in Vrindavan. Then after that, Prabhupada got in his dream different orders. 4 different times he got in his dream, 3 different times in 1944, 1948, and 1958. He got dreams actually to take sannyas. Then after that, Prabhupada actually wrote to his godbrothers so that he wanted to take sannyas. So when he wanted to take sannyas, even that was not very easy. So this is what he got reply from one of his godbrothers. Somebody else can read, please read.
It is important to have a dignified organization in the background. My suggestion is don't make any hasty decisions. For the time being, you stay with us and engage yourself in the service of the society and then accept Tridanda, Sannyasa. The purpose of accepting Tridanda is to serve the society. If that is your desire, then Sri Chaitanya Much will decide about your going to America to preach and make all your steps. It can never be the principle of the society to let one act according to his individual attempt or desire. The society will decide after consulting with the heads what is to be done by whom. This is what I want to say. First of all, it is necessary to identify oneself within the society. In order to preach in America or in other foreign countries, it is important to have a dignified organization in the background. And secondly, it is necessary to establish oneself in India before going to preach in the foreign country.
So this is what Bhaktivilasa Tirtha Maharaj, who is leader of Chaitanya Math in Calcutta, wrote to Prabhupada when he wrote to him saying that he wanted to take sannyas. So even when he wanted to take sannyas, it was not very easy that, okay, let him take sannyas. It's not like that. He had to face a lot of resistance. And finally, he took sannyas. Then he wrote many books. And then he started preparing to go for America. So then he started his journey. He started his preparations to go for America. So in between, he wrote Light of Bhagavata, and he tried to go to Japan, and that failed. And then he got some of his friends to a sponsor to publish Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he published the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So then this is when he wanted to go to, he applied for passport and he got a sponsor letter, and his passport came and his sponsor letter also came. Both of the things came. Then his struggle started. Okay. So what? Please read.
With his passport and sponsorship papers, Bhaktivedanta Swami went to Bombay not to sell books or raise funds for printing. He wanted a ticket for America. Again, he tried approaching Subhati Borarji. He showed his sponsorship papers to her secretary, Mr. Shokshi, who was impressed and who went to Mrs. Borarji on his behalf. The Swami of Vrindavana is back, he told her. He has published a book on your donation. He has a sponsor and he wants to go to America. He wants you to send him on a India ship. Mrs. Bolarji said no. The Swamiji was too old to go to the United States and expect to accomplish things. He told Mrs. Chokshi that he should convince Mrs. Bolarji. He coached with Mr. Chokshi on what he should say. Mrs. Bolarji again said no. Exasperated with Mr. Chokshi's ineffectiveness, Bhaktivedanta Swami demanded a personal interview. It was granted, and a greyhound, determined Bhaktivedanta Swami presented this emphatic request. Please give me one thing. Subhati Bolarji was concerned. Swamiji, you are so old. You are taking this responsibility. Do you think it is all right? No. He reassured her, lifting his hand as if to reassure a doubting daughter. It is all right. But do you know what my secretaries think? They say, Swamiji is gonna die here. Bhaktivedanta made a face as if to dismiss a foolish woman. Again he insisted that she give them a ticket. All right, she said. Get your P form and I will make an arrangement to send you by our ship. Bhaktivedanta Swami smiled brilliantly and happily left her offices, past her amazed and skeptical clerks.
So this way, even to get a ticket was such a challenge for Srila Prabhupada. Now when we want to travel, tickets are arranged, place is arranged, programs are arranged, everything is arranged. You just have to walk in, think. And then when I walked in here, people are throwing flowers also. I got so taken aback. So everything is in platter for us. Everything is in platter for us. Everything is arranged. Everything is set up. Everything is in platter for us. But nothing was offered in platter for Prabhupada. Nothing was offered in platter for Prabhupada. Every step Prabhupada had to struggle. Now she said, take P form. P form is a form which government has to issue for people to go to foreign country. Okay, now he started trying to approach for the P form. So somehow or other, he went to approach for the P form. Now this officer, the officer was Mr. Martrachari. He told, Swamiji, you are sponsored by a private person, so we cannot accept. If we are invited by some institution, then we could consider. But if you are invited by a private person for 1 month, after 1 month, if you are in difficulty, there will be so many obstacles. But I had already prepared everything to go. So I said, what have you done? He said, I have decided not to sanction your P form. You see, I have decided not to sanction your P form. Then Prabhupada is saying, no, don't do this. You better send me to your superior. It should not be like that. So he took my request. He sent the file to the chief officer of foreign exchange or something like that. So he was the supreme man in the State Bank of India. I went to see him. I asked the secretary, do you have such and such file? Kindly put it to Mr. Rao. I went to see him. Secretary agreed. He put the file and he put my name to see him. I was waiting. So Mr. Rao came personally. He said, Swamiji, I passed your case. Don't worry. So every step, Prabhupada struggled. For whom? For us. He struggled. Every step he struggled. It's not easy. Whatever he did was not easy. With great difficulty, I got out of the country. Somewhere or other, by Krishna's grace, I got out so that I could spread Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Otherwise, to remain in India, it was not possible. I wanted to start a movement in India, but I was not at all encouraged. So sometimes we may feel many challenges. Nothing is easy in this material world. Nothing is easy in this material world. And when we practice Krishna consciousness, when we want to do something, we may feel many challenges. So where to get inspiration from? We should simply go and read Lilamrita. And we get Lilamrita when we read how much of difficulty Prabhupada faced in order to establish this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Then our difficulty which we are facing looks like some piddly difficulty. Otherwise, we think, oh, what is this? I am trying to do so much for ISKCON. I am trying to do what? So much for ISKCON. I am trying to do so much for the Yatra. Nobody is recognizing me. I am going through so much difficulty. I am going through what? So much difficulty. What great service I am doing. People are, why they are not understanding? Why they are not understanding? Now we should take Lilamrita and read. That what Prabhupada went through to establish this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Automatically will become enthusiastic. At that age, actually, during this last Prabhupada Avirbhav appearance day, I was there in Mayapur, and one of Prabhupada disciples, he read Vyaspuja offering to Prabhupada. So in that Vyaspuja offering, he wrote, Dear Prabhupada, I'm paraphrasing. So he wrote, Dear Prabhupada, you came to America at the age of 70 and you did so many things. And we were with you and we were very attached to you. We were with you, we were very attached to you. We were actually seeing what you were doing. And we were very much attached to you. And we were also listening to whatever you are saying. But we never realized how difficult it is to do what you were doing, because at that time we were all young. Then he said, now my body is 70 years old. Now my body is 70 years old. Now I am realizing the importance of what you have done, and I appreciate greatly what you have done for us. So, Prabhupada did extraordinary things. Prabhupada did extraordinary things. He faced extraordinary obstacles. And he moved mountains simply because he wanted us to be Krishna conscious. He has not seen us. He did not, but he had this vision. What is that vision? That one day everybody will chant the name of Lord Chaitanya. One day everybody will chant the name of Lord Chaitanya. He had this vision. He had this vision. So, therefore, he worked for the vision. He gave his life for that vision. And in that, he had nothing. He had nothing. So, there's one personality who has deeply influenced our life. Therefore, it is our duty to read, to understand, to see what he has done and how he has done. So that is Krishna's miracle. Now I can see that is a miracle. Otherwise, in your city, New York, one single old man with only few books to sell for barely getting eatables, how he can survive? What to speak of introducing God consciousness movement for saving the humankind? This is Krishna's miracle. Now I can see. So Krishna did miracles with Prabhupada. And we don't have time to read how much of difficulty Prabhupada went through in America. This is another story. This is a story which we are reading before going to America. Then after going to America also it was not so easy that, he went to America, then everybody came and then he started Hare Krishna movement and then he had so much of this thing. No, it is not like that. In America, it was another kind of struggle. It was another kind of struggle. So, Prabhupada's statement in Jaladuta. So, my only solace is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Please read somebody. That is Siddhanta.
Taken up the risk just carry out the order of the divine grace. Like the or the so far away from Vrindavan.
There is no need for Prabhupada to leave Vrindavan. There is no reason for him to leave Vrindavan. Such a beautiful place, such a serene atmosphere. He was having such a nice life there. That total atmosphere is so good. But Prabhupada came out of Vrindavan. Why he came out of Vrindavan? Because he wanted to give Vrindavan to all of us. He wanted to give Vrindavan to the whole world. In order to deliver Vrindavan to the whole world, he came out of Vrindavan. And in his own life, in Prabhupada's own words, he's saying, okay, please read. Lord Krishna has taken charge of the ship. Please read.
The ocean voyage of 1965 was a calm one for the Harilila. The captain said that never in his entire career had he seen such a calm Atlantic crossing. Prabhupada replied that the calmness was Lord Krishna's mercy, and Mrs. Pandya asked Prabhupada to come back with them so that they might have another such crossing. Srila Prabhupada wrote in his diary, if the Atlantic would have flown its usual pace, perhaps I would have died. But Lord Krishna has taken charge of the ship.
So Prabhupada actually undertook a journey of life and death. It's not that it is like, okay, now my ticket is booked, I sit in the plane, I fly, I go, and then everybody is there. Not like that. Prabhupada actually undertook a journey of life and death. Life and death. Simply for spreading Krishna consciousness to all of us. So the amount of sacrifice which Prabhupada has made, the amount of risk he has taken, the compassion he has shown for all of us is something which is beyond our imagination. So this Krishna consciousness movement is given to us by shedding gallons and gallons of blood of Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. So therefore, we should also feel some responsibility for it. We should also feel some responsibility for it. And how to feel that responsibility, how to appreciate the responsibility. We can feel that responsibility, we can appreciate the responsibility only by trying to study the history of Srila Prabhupada. So one of the most important books we should study is Leelamrita. One of the most important books we should study is Leelamrita. So Bhagavatam says that Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So in that purport to that verse, Prabhupada says that there are two types of Bhagavata. There is book Bhagavata and then there is person Bhagavata. And the person Bhagavata is the manifestation of the book Bhagavata. Whatever is explained in the book Bhagavata, that the person Bhagavata he manifests in his life. Of course, there are many person Bhagavatas in Bhagavatam itself. Like for example, Parikshit is a person Bhagavata. There is Vritrasura who is a person Bhagavata. There is Prahlad Maharaj who is person Bhagavata. There is Dhruva who is person Bhagavata. There is Narada who is person Bhagavata. There are many person Bhagavatas within Bhagavatam itself. But then they all lived in a different time. They all lived in a different age. They all lived in different setting. They all lived in different place. But there is one person Bhagavata who has walked amongst us and who created many person Bhagavatas. Who created many person Bhagavatas. And he did not get them from very cultured families, from experts in Vedic knowledge. He did not get them from there. Where did he get them from? He got them from the streets of the most horrible situation. The most horrible situation. And then he converted them into person Bhagavatas. So, who knows how to sing this song? You know how to sing this song? You can sing? Okay, please sing.
Guru Kripa Krishna Madha Mera Tapi Mila
Baro Kripa Kaile Krishna Radha Mera Pati Ila Giya Nile Heta Koro Eve Gati. Ache ki suka jata ki mane ame ke no ni me ke rastane. वासुदेव सतरुचि ऐसे प्रसन्ना Aveta Jitava Kripa Suki Sakale Ambhava Sumi Se Kautuki Ave Puji Hare Puje Se Rasa Eka Kripa Karo Prabhu Kori Nije Basa Maya Ichaya Sama Oi Maya Pasa Samaya Ichaya Nasa Maya Parasa Baita Hoi Jadi Kadera Uta Puji Venishai Sabe Kata Se Toma Bhagavate Katase Sabayavata Hiraya Sune Jati Kane Baramba. Okay, so let's read the meaning. Please read the meaning of these verses.
My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place?
Why would you bring me to this terrible place? Why would you bring me to this terrible place? People are aspiring for green card, yellow card, red card. And what Prabhupada is saying, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Okay, next.
Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion absorbed in the material life. They think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it.
Okay, next.
But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert in this.
How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? O Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have come under the control of illusory energy by your will, and therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion.
I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only they will be able to understand your message.
The words of Srimad Bhagavatam, are you examination? And if a sober person
repeatedly receives
it with reception, then he will be able to understand your message.
So Prabhupada was in no illusion what he was getting into. He was not no illusion what he was getting into. And Prabhupada got into it. And Prabhupada had full faith in Krishna that whatever Krishna wants, it will definitely happen. He had full faith in Krishna and he gave his blessings. He gave his recommendation. So we should not be very proud that, I am practicing Krishna consciousness. I am great sadhu. I am chanting 16 round. I am following 4 regulative principle. This Kaliga is so bad. So many people are doing so many nonsense things. But how sadhu person I am, should never be very proud. Why we should not be very proud? Because the source of our strength is lying in this prayer. Prabhupada gave this benediction to us to become Krishna conscious. That is why we are Krishna conscious. That is why we are Krishna conscious. We are not Krishna conscious because we are sadhu people. We are Krishna conscious because Prabhupada actually told Krishna. Prabhupada actually told Krishna that I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. So, and Prabhupada told that therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. What Prabhupada told Krishna? Prabhupada said that I wish that you may deliver them. This is how we became Krishna conscious. This is how we became Krishna conscious. We did not become Krishna conscious because we have some great qualification to be Krishna conscious. We are not practicing Krishna consciousness because we are so determined to practice Krishna consciousness. I am Dridhavrita. I am practicing Krishna consciousness. No. Whatever is our strength is coming from this prayer of Srila Prabhupada, which he wrote when he entered. So, we owe our life, we owe our Krishna consciousness, we owe everything auspicious we have in our life to Srila. So therefore, it is very important for us to appreciate, to understand, and to express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Very, very important for us. It's very, very important for us to appreciate Srila Prabhupada, to understand what he did for us, and to express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Nowadays, I am seeing that not many people are reading Leelamrita seriously. So, there are many people who came to Krishna consciousness simply by reading Leelamrita. So it's very, very important for us to read Leelamrita. If we don't read Leelamrita, we can never understand what we are meant to do in this movement. We will never understand what we are meant to do in this movement. We will all think our own idea. We will have our own idea what we are meant to do in this movement. We are not meant to have our own idea what we are meant to do in this movement, because this is whose movement? This is Prabhupada's movement. This is whose movement? This is Prabhupada's movement. So we are meant to understand what Prabhupada wants us to do in this movement. And in order to understand that, we should study the life of Srila Prabhupada very scrutinizingly. When we study the life of Srila Prabhupada very scrutinizingly, we will understand what Prabhupada did for us and what Prabhupada wants us to do. We will understand both these things. We will understand what Prabhupada did for us, and we will also understand what Prabhupada wants us to do. And after reading Leelamrita, we will never crib. We will never crib. This is not happening. Oh, that's not happening. Oh, this is not good. Oh, that is not good. Oh, this facility is not there. Oh, that facility is not there. Oh, this is having, I'm facing so much problem. We will not crib. we can learn how to be surrendered to the order of the spiritual master. We can learn what it means to be a disciple for a spiritual master. We can learn because we all have spiritual master, and we should also learn what it means to be disciple for our spiritual master. And how to learn that? We learn that by studying Prabhupada's life. Then we can understand, okay, this is what it means to be a disciple for a spiritual master. Because discipleship has come very easily to us without any trouble. Our Shiksha Gurus are pulling our hands, legs, and telling, hey, chant 16 round, hey, take initiation, hey, do this, hey, do that. So we think that we are doing some great favor to our Shiksha Gurus by taking initiation. I have done favor to you. I have taken initiation. You are telling, okay, I grant you your wish. I am giving you benediction. Okay, I take initiation. Be happy. They are thinking like that. But we should know what it means to be a disciple for a spiritual master. What it means, we should know. And how to know? By reading Srila Prabhupada's history, we will come to know what it means to be a disciple for spiritual master. Every day we are singing, what is that? Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chite Te Koriya Kya Arana Kori Homone. What does it mean? If you want to understand the meaning of these lines, we should read Prabhupada's life history. Gurumukha Padma Vakya Chitete Kuriyakya Arana Kurihamone. In order to understand the full depth and purport of this verse, we should try to read Prabhupada's life and life history. So, like this, we can keep going on and we can speak Prabhupada Katha for a long time. But today is working day. We all had a long day, and then you have to go back, you have to sleep, and then go also tomorrow for work. I am jobless guy. I have no office, I have no work. I am a jobless guy. So, but you are all very busy people. So I hope at least today's session gives you some enthusiasm to go back to Lilamrita. That you may have read Lilamrita one time, two times, many times. But if you have read, it's good opportunity to go and reread again. If you have not read, it is a great opportunity to get some inspiration to read Lilamrita. So we have shown some trailer. Abhi movie, Baki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. Okay, any questions, comments, anything you have? Anything you want to say? Yes, Prabhuji.
Wait. Since you have given last time when I presentation on management also, like you are well versed with these things. So what you now Ritik also many things are happening and many things are coming out openly in our social media also. People are getting distracted also by that. So what do you feel? What is the future of this Ritik and where is it going to land up now?
So why I should worry about the future of Ritik? I should worry about my future, whether I will land up in Goloka or not. Right? No. Yeah, correct. So therefore,
what has the background of that?
Correct. So therefore, we should understand that you cannot invent a system. Okay, you cannot invent a system. In Vedic system, you can only follow a system. Okay? And you can tweak a system. But the tweaking cannot be done by everybody. For tweaking a system, you have to get a self-effulgent acharya. Like for example, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Prabhupada, they are all greatly empowered acharyas who actually have done something. They know the formula of spreading Krishna consciousness in Kali Yuga. Okay. So therefore, they have given the system. That system we should follow. We should not take bits and pieces of what they have said in different contexts and then make your own context. Right? That is the most dangerous thing. In the social media world, this is very common. Okay. So if someone says that my neighbor is saying that I am going to kill you. What he said? My neighbor is saying that I am going to kill you. Now you cut off the neighbor and then you simply show that clip where I am saying that I am going to kill you. This is social media. And this is also Ritviks. Okay. So both are same. Social media also same, Ritvik also same. You cut off whatever portion is not convenient for you and then you show the portion which is very convenient for you. Right? So philosophies don't work like that. Okay. So the first point is that there should be consent between guru and disciple. Guru-disciple is a reciprocal relationship. Disciple should accept guru, guru should accept disciple. Okay. So now a person who is saying that nobody is reliable, a person who is saying there's nobody is reliable other than Prabhupada, he is saying that Prabhupada has accepted you. So how he is reliable? According to his own statement, nobody is reliable. Right? This is number one. Number two, when you see a Vaishnava, you are supposed to feel happy. When you see a Vaishnava, you are supposed to feel happy. Okay. So the whole Vaishnava culture is that when you see a Vaishnava, you should become happy. Now what Ritviks are saying, the moment they see a Vaishnava, they are saying this guy will fall down. What kind of philosophy is this? What kind of philosophy is this? Because when you see a Vaishnava, the first thing the Ritvik says, oh, he is prone to fall down. You see Prabhupada, he is giving benediction to everybody, that everybody, I wish that everybody be delivered by you. What Ritvik is saying, I wish that these people will fall. So where is their connection with Prabhupada? Where is the connection with Prabhupada? So therefore, definitely you can construct a philosophy. And definitely you can become successful with that philosophy also. Now, forget Ritvik. There are so many bogus fellows who are worse than Ritvik. They are also very popular. They are also very popular. In Punjab, there was one guy, I forgot his name. Ram Rahim. Ram Rahim, what is his name? Ram Rahim. He started a movement called Dera Sacha Sauda. Okay. And that movement has millions of followers. And that Ram Rahim is such a saintly person that he was actually living in a cave. His quarters was called as Gufa. His quarters was called as Gufa. And he was living in a cave. But when police went and saw that quarters which was called as Gufa was better than a 5-star hotel. And the most important aspect of that Gufa was that it had an underground passage to Brahmacharya Ashram. That was the most important aspect of that construction. Such rascals are also having following. Millions of followers, not one or two. Millions of followers such rascals are also having. So having followers in Kali Yuga doesn't make you great. Okay. Doesn't make you great. So we have to be very careful. Prabhupada said that ISKCON is like a diamond shop. ISKCON is like a diamond shop. He said that those who understand the value of diamond will come to diamond shop. Okay. So we should not be too much disturbed about the number of followers somebody is having, or we should not be too much disturbed about, oh, they have a perfect system. That is, all these things we should not be disturbed about. Of course, we should also have perfect system, not that we should have imperfect system because we are, having good philosophy. Good philosophy means we should also have perfect system. But just perfect systems, many followers doesn't make somebody great. So that is why Prabhupada, when he entered America, what he was saying, Prabhupada said that why did you bring me to such a terrible place? Why did you bring? So therefore, we should be able to see things for what it is. And in order to see things for what it is, we should clearly have a proper Shastric view. And we should clearly understand and appreciate what Srila Prabhupada said. We should not go by social media. Prabhupada said. There's a social media Prabhupada. Nowadays I say that there's a social media Prabhupada. And that social media Prabhupada says many things, which the actual Prabhupada never said. Okay? And then in social media, that social media Prabhupada's quotes are getting circulated. So nowadays, I am telling everybody, if you see any quote in social, first of all, don't try to understand Krishna consciousness from social media. This is the greatest mistake you can make. Don't try to understand Krishna consciousness from social media, Facebook, internet. These are not the place to understand social media. Of course, you want to hear some lecture from a bona fide devotee, you go and hear, there's no problem. But don't try to make social media as your primary source of understanding Krishna consciousness. This is not the right place. The primary source of understanding Krishna consciousness is Prabhupada books. So please read Prabhupada books. And in order to have the inspiration to read Prabhupada books, you should understand who Prabhupada is. Because now there are so many books are available. So many devotees are writing books. All of them are bona fide only. There's nothing wrong. And so many people are also giving lectures. All of them are bona fide only. There's nothing wrong. But in order to understand those books and those lectures, if you don't hear Prabhupada, if you don't read Prabhupada books, you cannot understand those books and those lectures. You cannot understand those books and those lectures because everybody is presenting Krishna consciousness which they learned from Prabhupada. So he is the original source of knowledge for us. He is our founder Acharya. So therefore it is incumbent on us to read Prabhupada books, to hear his lectures, to understand what he did, to understand how he lived, to understand what kind of struggle he went through to establish this movement and what he is expecting from us. If you do that, if you spend that quality time, then we will be able to face Ritviks. It's not a big deal. Ritvik philosophy is not some hi-fi philosophy. Okay? It is just like a social media philosophy. Okay. So the basis of guru-disciple relationship is the freedom and responsibility. So where is the freedom? Where is the responsibility? There is neither freedom nor responsibility. So then where is the guru-disciple relationship? There is no relationship. That's it. As simple as that. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, of course. This is the order of the parampara. This is the order of the parampara. Bhakti Vinod Thakur wrote so many books. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur was the first one to send books overseas. Outside the country. He was the first one to send it. Then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote so many books. And he gave direct order to our Prabhupada that if you ever get money, print books. So books are meant for two reasons. Books are meant for two reasons. What is the first reason? Read it yourself. And what is the second reason? Distribute it profusely. Distribute it profusely. How to distribute it? Distribute it profusely. For two reasons, book is there. But if you don't read yourself, you will not be able to distribute it profusely because you don't know what it is. You don't know the value of it. So therefore, please take this mission very seriously. Please take this mission very seriously. In order, when you take this mission very seriously, the direct result of that is that we can be happy. That is the direct result of it. Okay. So Prabhu is inviting all of you for Bhadra Purnima book distribution. So everybody please help him send, distribute so many Bhagavatam book sets as much as possible. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.